You probably think you know exactly why poor girls drop out of school, right? Early marriage. It ruins absolutely everything. Well, what if I told you we have that completely backwards? Prepare to have your mind blown. Let's dive right into this explainer.
Imagine a world where a young girl's education isn't decided by her parents. It isn't decided by money either. It's decided by the exact day she gets her first period. That's right, biology, not government policy, might literally be dictating her future. Today, we're unpacking some truly groundbreaking research out of rural Bangladesh that totally upends decades of multi-million-dollar social programs.
Section 1. Who steals education?
Okay, for years, governments have relied on a super simple strategy. Stop early marriage, save the girl's education. It sounds like common sense, doesn't it? But here is the massive blind spot. Is marriage the actual thief? Or is extreme poverty forcing families to do both of these things at the exact same time? Marry their daughters off early and pull them out of school simply because they just can't afford it.
Think about this brutal cycle for a second. Families are desperately poor, so the girls are married off early, and so they drop out. If poverty is the invisible engine driving this entire machine, then simply passing a law to ban the wedding fixes absolutely nothing. The family is still broke, the girl still drops out. So how do we actually prove that just delaying the wedding changes her fate?
Which brings us to Section 2, the causal knot.
Economists were completely stuck on this for years. They were trapped in an impossible loop, totally unable to separate coincidence from actual cause. To figure this out, they faced a seemingly impossible task. Find a group of girls who were forced to delay marriage for reasons completely unrelated to their family's wealth or local culture. A truly random delay. How on earth do you find that in the real world?
Let's look at Section 3, the biological hack.
To cut through this impossible knot, the researchers found a totally brilliant natural cheat code: human biology. In rural Bangladesh, custom strictly dictates that girls absolutely cannot marry before puberty. But here's the catch. Puberty is a biological lottery. It randomly arrives anywhere between ages 11 and 16. So nature literally hits the pause button on marriage, giving us a pure, perfectly randomized experiment to study. It's genius.
Moving to Section 4, the brutal numbers. Here is the hard, undeniable data. 0.74 years. For every single year that biology delays a girl's first period, her actual wedding is pushed back by almost 9 months. That is huge. A completely physical roadblock creates a massive real-world delay. And the crazy part? This happens completely independent of how desperately poor her family might be.
Now check out the results. One single year of delayed marriage buys a girl nearly a quarter of a year more in the classroom. Her chances of being literate, they jump by over 5%. This basically proves it. Early marriage itself really is the destructive roadblock. Delay the marriage, and you literally save the schooling.
But hold on, you should be skeptical. What if these late bloomers were just starving? Extreme poverty delays puberty, right? Well, get ready for the ultimate mic drop. Look at their adult heights. Across the board, they are completely identical. The late bloomers weren't starving at all. This biological delay was pure random chance. Poverty had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Of course, no research is totally flawless, and we have to keep it real here. Relying on adult women to perfectly remember their exact age of puberty definitely introduces some memory bias. And sure, there are always unknown genetic factors at play. But honestly, even with these limits, this biological lottery paints a crystal clear, undeniable picture. Finally, Section 5. Do laws actually work?
So if delaying marriage actually keeps girls in school, how should governments write the laws? Well, this data delivers a massive slap in the face to standard policy. Setting the legal age at 18 sounds amazing on paper, but it's practically impossible to enforce in rural villages. It totally misses the natural window. Setting it at 16, though, that is realistic. It captures almost all the educational benefits perfectly. By pushing for an unenforceable age of 18, we are literally sacrificing real progress for pure idealism.
Think about that for a second. If a young girl's future is currently being saved by nothing more than a random biological clock, aren't we kind of failing her? When biological instinct is our only real weapon against ancient customs, our legal system needs to be a whole lot smarter. We need policies that match reality, not just good intentions. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning the obvious.